Hey, it's me, Jimmy D, and welcome to my episode 4 review of Supergirl. And I am glad to say this episode was a lot better than really this whole season's episodes. Really, it was a nice tie together and mixture of different things. So, as me and Joe kind of talked about last week, they hopefully, like we said, that hopefully last week's episode was setting up nicely for this week with Martian Manhunter's brother being able to control people. And honestly, it really did. This episode was great. The Supergirl aspect, the car aspect, and really the James aspect as well. So we did see this as James send off. He moved back to his hometown where he started journalism, bought the newspaper because the prison and all was corrupt, and no one was helping anybody, and he really felt like this was what he needed to do. And honestly, that's a nice wrap up of James's arc he's had since the beginning of the show. He's gone from just reporter to helping Supergirl to be in the Guardian and gaining a little bit of powers last year, and ultimately this was a nice conclusion to his story, and it fit the character very well. Now, the Supergirl aspects were great. Her and Martian Manhunter trying to figure out about the brother, and Supergirl was also help investigating what Kara was doing, reporting on. It was all great. The reporting side, like we talked about in our premiere review, hopefully we said that it would make things better because the journalist side was the side that the show was lacking in. And it really has pulled together with this episode because for once, you have the Kara stuff as the journalist really mixing in nicely and well written with the Supergirl stuff, because Supergirl finds out that the person that was killed, who was a 2-week old body that died of natural causes, had an offshore account, and there was an anonymous person hooked to that offshore account, and it was the jerk of a reporter. And Kara quickly, and I love that, the quick put on the glasses, because then she's not caught as Supergirl. And you could always say, yeah, her speed, she could always change real quick, but this makes things real nice. Her interacting with the reporter and saying, yeah, I don't believe you and all that, and his, like, I don't know whether to trust him or not, and I really like that about the show. And then Lena has been the least favorite part of this entire season. Her being evil, just, it does not make sense. After having 3 seasons of Lena being good and building that relationship with Kara, and seeing Kara still think that relationship is fine, and Lena just is nasty. I mean, she acted all friendly and was part of Team Supergirl, the Super Friends, where they have T-shirts. I would love to see that T-shirt. And ultimately, she took instead of the Phantom Zone, sending Martian Manhunter's brother, it sent him to LexCorp, and where he's locked into this kind of cell. Overall, this episode was really good. It felt like an episode from last season. I wouldn't say it felt like one of the best episodes from last season, but it felt like it belonged with that well written season. Hopefully, things go like this forward into the rest of the season, because honestly, the way it was honestly disappointing to me. And I'm one of the biggest Supergirl fans ever, and the fact that it was honestly disappointing really just, it was sad. It was sad. And with her new suit and everything, it should have been top notch. Overall, if I was giving this episode a rating, I probably would rate this around a 7.5. It's really good. It's above average, but it's not as good as last season, so that's why I'm not giving it more than a 7.5. Hopefully next week looks promising. Super are trying to stop a giant wave coming at the national city and everything like that. Like, it looks interesting and looks like a classic Supergirl episode, and I cannot wait to see it. But as always, I want to know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Let me know, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Later.